Back in 2010, when Apple introduced the all-new iPad, I remember Steve Jobs got on stage and even compared it to the Kindle by Amazon and said that though it's not a direct competitor to the Kindle since it's not a dedicated e-reader, it is an e-reader in the sense that there's going to be an app on the iPad that is meant for reading. Now, as an avid reader, I was a huge fan because I love Apple. I think they are amazing when it comes to execution and design and overall experience. And I was excited because as someone who loves to read books, and at the time I was reading on one of the first Kindles Amazon had introduced, I was very excited about it. Obviously, the iPad is a tablet computer, so the experience isn't exactly the same as a dedicated e-reader with its e-ink display and its battery life. However, I was excited nonetheless. Now, fast forward to all these years later, I think that it's about time Apple does something different, something new. Obviously, they're not going to introduce a dedicated e-reader with an e-ink display, but I do think that they have done an amazing job with offering a e-reading experience on their tablet computer, the iPad. I did do a video on the iPad mini, the new one that Apple introduced last year in 2021, and I talked about how great of a device it is for content consumption in general, which also includes reading books. I also said in that video that if someone wants one device where they can play games, surf the internet, watch movies and TV, read books, listen to audiobooks, then the new iPad mini with its small, thin and light form factor is quite amazing. Now rumor has it that Apple is doing something different. They are finally trying to introduce a subscription service in which audiobooks and books will be included in that as part of a package deal. A report from The Economist suggests that Apple could be launching its own audiobook service. And let me tell you why I think this is pretty big news. You see, for the longest time, you have Amazon that has its Prime Reading, Kindle Unlimited, Audible, whereas when you look at Apple Books, Apple hasn't really done much. For example, you can buy books, there are good deals sometimes that come on, and there's also audiobooks. But with audiobooks, you have to straight up buy them. There's no subscription where you can pay a monthly fee, get X amount of audiobooks to listen to, or get credits to use towards audiobooks. So I've been using Audible for the longest time, and I think it's pretty nice, it's decent, but I don't think it's the best experience, especially because you have Kindle as its own product, Audible as its own product. They can work together, but it's not under one roof. And I think Apple can do a really, really good job here. If you've noticed, for the past few years, Apple has been introducing a lot of great subscription services, from Apple Arcade to Apple Fitness Plus to Apple Music to Apple TV Plus. I think it's only natural that Apple introduced an audiobook subscription service called Apple Books Plus. It's honestly quite surprising that this subscription service doesn't already exist. Apple has been in the digital books and audiobook business for years now, and while it certainly doesn't get the attention like the rest of its newly launched services, it actually could be pretty good. And to be honest, I think there's many ways that Apple could do a better job than Amazon. And I'll tell you why in a second. You see, the great thing about Apple Books Plus, if it does come to fruition that is that Apple could do something even better than Amazon. It could bring both the businesses together, the book businesses and the audiobooks business. Right now, Kindle and Audible are two separate products that, while they do work together in certain ways, it's also confusing as to what you get with each. Apple could offer both books and audiobooks under its subscription service, making pricing and what you get out of it much more clear. Having everything under one roof alone would be a great way to differentiate itself from its competitors. Apple also has the benefit of its ecosystem. So whether you're reading on a Mac or an iPhone or an iPad, whatever it may be, you can read on all these devices, and the synchronization would be pretty good. Because if you look at Audible and Amazon, what they've done really well is your audiobook can pick up from where you left off when you were reading it on that Kindle. So I think that's pretty neat. And obviously when it comes to iCloud and just synchronization, Apple does that really, really well. So I think they have a great point here. You could go out for a run, you could have the audiobook on your Apple Watch and start listening to it right away. So personally speaking, I'm quite excited about Apple bringing an audiobook subscription service to the market. Because I think when it comes to design, when it comes to user experience, No one does it better than them. I will go as far as to say that the best e-reading app in the market right now is by Apple. It's absolutely stunning. The user experience, the user interface, it's fantastic. Seriously, get your iPad out, get your iPhone out, check out the Apple Books app. It's beautiful. Now, I know a lot of people in the comments will say, yeah, but it's not an e-reader because it doesn't have an e-ink display and the battery life is not that great. But I think you're missing the point. The point is not comparing it to a dedicated e-reader. The point is looking at it as a content consumption device. And audiobooks and books in general are content that can be consumed in an iPad or an iPhone. And audiobooks are interesting because you don't need to be reading anything. It's all about the listening experience. So I think Apple knows what it's doing. I'm actually kind of, it's surprising that they haven't announced an audiobook service in the past. But anyways, I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Apple introducing a possible audiobook subscription service to the market? Comment below, let me know. Until then, I'll see you next time.